This Friday, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are back to switch things up in Disney's Freakier Friday.
Totally. Yes.
It's an absolute riot, and the only movie that can be described as
So much weirder than the last time. What last time?
it's the frequel
You ready?
we've been waiting for.
That absolutely slays.
What deeply out of touch old person came up with that?
You did.
Wow.
Don't miss the comedy event of the summer for all ages. Disney's Freakier Friday in theaters this Friday. Get tickets now. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
Pie in the Sky Media.
3, 2, 1. We're live. Hello, welcome back, Criminal Mischief Nation, to another bonus episode of Criminal Mischief with Carolyn and Branden. I am Branden, joined by the great Carolyn Osorio, as always. Carolyn, hello.
Hello, Branden. How are you?
Doing great. How was your week? Enjoying your summer, I hope?
Busy.
Good.
Very busy. What about you?
Yeah, exciting. A lot of stuff happening. I can talk about it now. That it was announced today in the press. My
Yay.
podcast, season 1 of The Devil Within, was picked up for a TV show on MGM Plus. It premieres August 31st, and it's executive produced and hosted by Eli Roth, the horror guy. And he's doing a bunch of press all day today, basically mostly on the East Coast, but he's going to be moving westward over the next week or so on the press tour. So
He's going to be moving.
moving westward, and yeah, so it's super exciting. The trailer dropped today. We're in all the horror kind of daily periodicals, blogs, all that, and yeah, so it's a very exciting time. You've been a great supporter of the show over the years, so thank you very much.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Well, I'm very happy for you because it's been a long time coming.
And other big
who-
news today from
What?
Pie in the Sky, another trailer dropped. We can talk about that now since the trailer's out, right?
Yep. Stolen Voices of Dole Valley, something we've been working on for
2
like
years?
2 years.
2 years.
A case. I know, it's crazy, right?
Wow.
I feel like I can't, I feel like now that I can say something, all of a sudden I'm like,
Stolen
I
Voices of
feel
Dole
it's so
Valley.
weird. I don't even know what.
Stolen Voices of Dole Valley is a show that Carolyn brought to me a couple of years ago, and admittedly, I was like, man, another murder podcast. But then when she got into it, it was undeniable, and that's the thing, you hear a lot of these VC people and stuff say it's either a fuck yes or it's a fuck no, and after 10 minutes of her pitching the story to me, it was a big time undeniable fuck yes, and the story will blow you away. It's about a serial killer that, believe it or not, you've never heard of, and if anyone listening to this show, you're a true crime aficionado and you haven't heard of this guy, and it will blow your mind. And the depth of the reporting that Carolyn threw herself into, and the interviews that she got, and never stopped digging, and the hard work and the team that was put together, and our partners and our network partners, we're working with the best in the business, and I'd like to say that we're lucky for it, but it's just the result of really hard work and really top-notch story curation, and when you're going to push your chips in, and this was Carolyn made all the right decisions here. So Stolen Voices of Dole Valley trailer drops today. Listen wherever you get your podcasts, go and check it out. Follow. The show drops in 2 weeks, and you will not be disappointed. How'd I do? That was off the cuff. How'd I do?
It's such that was you. So that's what you do so great. I always like get in the weeds and stuff. So I'm always like, yes, but it's really rewarding. And like you said, there's so many people that have had a hand in this, and I just feel really, really proud of the work just for that aspect alone. It's just the people that have cared so much, and the revisions, when people care like that. And then the people, the detectives, the family members, the victims, like it's like this whole chain.
The survivors.
And it's like, it's undeniable.
Yeah, the survivors.
Yeah. Okay, well, we can stop now because we can't give too much
Yes.
away. But it
Stolen
drops
Voices
August
of Dole
19th. There'll
Valley.
be a video trailer coming out.
Yes. Stolen Voices of Dole Valley
Hmm.
from Pie in the Sky Media, KSL Podcast, and Lemonada. When I say the best in the business,
Lemonade Media.
Lemonada is one of the top networks out there. So very, very exciting. So
We're
check it out.
really fortunate. So,
But
yeah.
now
So I listened to you again.
you listened what?
I listened to you. You sent this one over. This case. You sent this to me.
So let's talk about this fucking crazy Australian.
I
Because
know.
this
Don't are you saying you don't remember
no,
sending
I
me the link to
totally
this?
remember. I totally remember sending it over. And I have some problems with it. I'll be honest. I have some problems with it. But uh
What?
I'll tell you when I'll tell you when we get to the end. You
You've
pointed them
got
out.
it. You've got it written down.
No, you pointed them out in your narration, and I'm just going to regurgitate things that you said. But so fairly recent, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
ripped from the headlines. Uh,
I knew you were going to say that. You love saying that. You love saying it.
and I cook.
Ripped from the headline.
I cook. I consider myself a fairly accomplished, culinary artist. Okay,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
and uh, and I've watched. I've never tried to make a beef Wellington. I've watched several videos of
Because
it.
nobody would, unless you're Gordon Ramsay. I had to stop myself from putting a Gordon Ramsay clip in there because that's his like
Yeah,
signature piece.
yeah.
And you don't.
Have you ever eaten a good like a real beef Wellington? Have you ever eaten?
I haven't. No,
I haven't either.
no. I thought you were going to say that you had. I thought you
No,
were going to
I
school me
haven't.
and just be like, you've not, because it just, there's something about it that doesn't appeal to me. I don't know why.
It looks delicious. When Ramsey makes it, or one of his students makes it, or when
Yeah.
someone who knows
Yeah.
what they're doing, it looks
Yeah.
really delicious.
Well, and I think here's the thing. You really need to know what you're doing when you make a beef Wellington, that it's going to come out
Absolutely.
the way that you want your steak prepared. Like I like mine medium rare, and it's like, that could go all different ways. It could be too raw, it could be overcooked, so it's like
Yeah.
you're really, unless you're eating Gordon Ramsay's, like I don't know if I would, I mean, it's really hard to make. I wouldn't
But
try
yeah,
to
and
make it.
because it combines so many different aspects of cooking, with
Hmm.
with the mushrooms, with the pastry, with the steak, with the all the different steps required, and rolling it
Yeah.
up and wrapping it properly and all. Yeah, I mean it's
I know when they were talking about her splattered cookbook, I was like, oh
yeah,
man.
no shit, no shit.
And then the added dimension of putting poison, making sure you had enough poison in each one,
And then
and making
serve
sure.
yourself an obviously different meal.
I don't want to laugh because it's horrible. Well, let's just start this
It's
off by saying
horrible.
it's horrible.
Death by poisoning is excruciating. It's excruciating. And the liver fail. What the? Oh my God. But so, all right. So I really loved the way that you kind of tricked us in the beginning, because I thought the way that it was being laid out that she was the victim. Okay.
Mm. Hmm.
Right. And,
Hmm.
and so, interesting, if not unique, but an interesting relationship, staying friendly with your ex and raising kids together and doing all that. It
Well,
was
I think
lovely.
Gwyneth Paltrow, the conscious
Don't
uncoupling. I
ever say
don't.
don't, conscious
Okay.
uncoupling. Oh my
I
gosh.
just said that just to
Oh,
nail you,
yeah,
just
you
to
got
nail you.
me. You got me. All right.
Actually did a story on that because we had friends who did that.
Who
And
consciously uncoupled?
yeah, you just said it,
Oh
dude.
yeah,
You
I
just
sure
said
did.
it.
I sure
You
did.
did.
Just because Chris Martin's been in the news with
I
that cheating
I know.
couple that
I
got caught.
freaking love Chris Martin.
Hilarious.
I
I know, me
absolutely
too. He's super
loved about
talented.
so
Really, really,
talented.
really, really, really talented kid. But so yeah, so it seemed like things were going well. Unfortunately, she'd lost her parents fairly young. Okay. And so, um, uh, really nice to hear that the in-law still treated her like a member of the family. That's how, uh, my respective grandparents treated my mom and dad when they divorced, right? It was
Mhm.
still, there was no like animosity at all, which was really nice. So, my brother and I were able to maintain relationships with the grandparents. Like it was great. When,
Yeah,
when,
that is
when,
great. That's great.
yeah, when people are adult enough to understand that
And
they're
that's what it comes down to, Brandon. And
yeah,
so it's really hard to do that, you know?
Sometimes it is. When there's emotions like that involved, sometimes it's hard to maintain, your
Definitely.
sanity and to maintain just a level of dignity and class and all that. It's hard, but it seemed like they were getting away,
They,
up until the poisonings. Okay, it seemed like things were going
well,
pretty
it
good.
was interesting about how maybe she wanted to have this idea of having a husband, but didn't want to actually cohabitate. And then she got really upset when he changed on his taxes that, and I don't know if it's different in Australia what that means because he was from married to separated. So, and I didn't really want to research that piece out, but like
Right.
that was a real trigger for her. I don't know why that was, because they didn't mention if he was dating someone, and it sounds like she wasn't dating someone. Like there was no other, usually in these kinds of stories, there's like another woman or another man, and
And
you know,
that's one of my issues with this is that the motive was very, very unclear. The
yeah.
evidence was so strong that they got a conviction, but the
Mhm.
motive still don't really. It's not like she was going to make tons of money
Yeah.
or like there was cheating. It was 7 years of divorce, right? Like what?
They're not even divorced.
I
That's
know,
what
but
I'm
7 years
saying.
they're consciously uncoupled, whatever the fuck that is. But seven
You
years,
again.
right? There's 7 years.
Yeah.
You're over it, you know?
She clearly wasn't.
Yeah.
And he was still wearing his wedding ring. So I don't really know what was going on there. And I think that um what's there was nothing could justify at all
But why
this
kill everybody?
because usually it's men that are the family annihilators,
Sure.
generally.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's
But
like,
what I'm saying is like if she had a beef with a beef. All right.
you're so funny.
If
You're
she
so
had an
funny.
issue with
Yeah.
her estranged or whatever, her husband, not husband,
Mhm.
why kill everybody else? Like why make enough beef Wellington to kill everybody? Like why not
I
just go
think
after him?
I think that that's what was hard about this case because first of all, you had to and people in Australia and a lot, from the reports that I read, they just had a really hard time thinking that she could have done this. Like that a mom could, we can think a guy would do it all day long, and I'm not trying to be flip, but it's
Oh
like,
no, sure. Yeah.
but like, and that's what some of these commentators were saying is that, you know, they immediately was like, well, what did he do to her? What did he do? What did the husband do to make her this angry that she did this? And that's the thing. It's like she is a serial killer, and she's a woman, and I think that we have different expectations as to why it's hard for us to kind of cross that threshold as to, it's different for men and women. And I think that people had a really hard time with this, and especially the method of it, of like, because I've been thinking a lot about this since you infected my brain with it because I hadn't heard of this story. And it's
Yeah.
like cooking and food is such a personal because I don't do a lot of cooking these days because I've just been busy, but I've gone, in my life, I love cooking. I love baking. I love, cooking for my family. And, I have things that I like to make them and it just brings me such joy. But like, there's something about creating a meal for your family. It's like an extension of yourself and really wanting them to enjoy it. And like I get such pleasure when my kids love the stuff that I make and they're just like, "Oh, mom, it's so good. It's so good." And it's like to purposely make this meal nourishing your family and then load it up with death cap mushrooms.
Yeah.
And like there's just something primal about it goes against nature almost. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you want to nourish your family. You don't want to kill them with food that you prepare and watch them eat it
Yeah,
and
oh,
say
yeah.
grace with them. I mean, that's like next level to watch someone eat food that is laced with the most deadly poison in mushrooms in the world.
White Lotus.
Yes, that was
White
so
Lotus.
tough.
Blender. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, but we know what his motivation was. They
Sure.
set it up
Then we
step by
know.
step. And I
Exactly.
still was like, don't even, like, I was so
It's
mad at
still a
that guy.
fucked up motivation. It's all ego. His motivation was
Oh,
I can't handle
totally
being a
was all
failure. Right,
ego.
sure, of course. But so with this, and then for as much thought as she put into it, how difficult it is to make a beef Wellington, she didn't apply that mindset to getting away with murder, right? Like you search death cap mushrooms on your home computer. Everyone
Mhm.
knows you go to the public library and you use one of their computers. Okay, so that you can't be traced.
No, but she could get caught with that too, because remember the one that we did with the woman who poisoned the Tylenol stuff, and she had her fingerprints on the
Oh,
books that she checked out,
right.
like back in the early night. You always think that you're smarter. That's this is her thing. I
But she
think
thinks that she'll just throw
she,
away the dehydrator and no one will find it. I mean,
you know
come
what?
on.
I think she thought she was smarter than everyone else, and I think because she flew under the radar and was like, people have no idea who I really am. People have no idea, because
That's
sometimes
interesting.
women
Yeah.
are massively underestimated. And she
Yeah.
leaned into that. She probably was like, there's no way they're going to think that I would be capable of doing this. I can just go and talk to the press and pretend to cry, even though there's no tears.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, that was
people are
weird.
just going to believe it.
That was weird. And she did do one thing, if this was deliberate, that I found clever, is that she gorged herself on cake until she threw up to
Right.
to
Right.
explain why.
Yeah.
Also because she ate a different meal and she didn't ever eat the fucking mushrooms. Okay, there's also that. But um
Yeah.
how was it explained that the one person survived the ordeal? Just had like a robust liver or
I think it's depending on how much he actually ate,
yeah,
and then his body weight, his
sure,
health,
okay.
overall health, and just how it affected his system personally. I mean, he
Yeah.
was just really, I won't even say I mean, he was definitely lucky, but like he had an entire liver transplant. I
Yeah.
just think that
Was he the
he
dude
got what he
that
needed.
cleared the other person's plate?
No,
That's
no,
that
no.
motherfucker died. God damn it.
Yeah, yeah,
Oof.
yeah,
But you could just have a really robust kind of constitution and like the Into the Void, the Krakauer book about Everest. It became a movie called Everest also. And one of the guys, they were stepping over him. They thought he was dead. Okay, and he was like frozen to the ground, but he was alive. Like he survived. They're like,
yeah.
you just have like insane fitness and cardio and maybe just a will to live, or you're just stubborn,
I think it's all those things, and I think that the will to live
Right.
is really a huge part of that.
Yeah.
I don't know in his case, but I just believe that generally. Like really. Like people who have like a real will to
It's weird.
live.
You see that all the time in movies and in TV shows where someone's in the hospital and the family goes, is he going to survive? The doctor goes, well, is he a fighter? And and I swear this happened. It was a friend of my wife's. Dad wasn't doing what had an accident. Circumstances are questionable, and he was in the hospital. And the doctor came up and she said, "Is my dad gonna be okay?" And the doctor, well, is he a fighter? And she goes, "No, no, he's not at all." The doctor goes, "Well, then he's probably gonna die," and he died. And I went, "Holy shit!" Who answers the question that way? No, he's not.
I totally believe that, because placebo, those drugs,
Yeah,
if the drug
you
can
believe
beat the
it,
placebo, which is
right?
50%, it's a winner drug,
Yeah,
because people's brains,
yeah,
like it's really powerful. I mean, I just feel like the brain is so unexplored still, all what we're capable of doing. So it doesn't surprise me that they would say that, because I think that they see that enough. Like people who are fighters, yeah, they have a higher chance of survival than people
right,
who just give up. But I think what's funny is that she's like, he's not a fighter.
right. But so no, but it just makes me think like, how often do doctors hear no to that question? Probably a lot more, obviously a lot more than we see in movies and TV because it's not dramatic. It's like it's anticlimactic, right? They probably
But
hear,
I think,
not really. He doesn't have a will to live. They probably hear that more often than we think.
well, there's the thing of not having a will to live,
Mhm.
which is different than not a fighter.
Right. Sure.
You know what I mean? They're two totally different things,
Who now it makes
you
me
know?
think like, who do I know in my life where I would say, nah, that person's not really a fighter. And a couple come to mind, to be honest. Wow. Shit.
I mean, doctors can be so hardcore,
Yeah.
you
Oh, yeah.
know, because I remember my mom had breast cancer and she kept getting the surgery to get the lump removed, but she wouldn't do the chemo. And the doctor was kind of, I just remember this detail so vividly. Because I was probably like 20 and I was at the hospital and I just looked at him and he was riding he was like the type of doctor that had a backpack and he had like a slim backpack and he had like this like racing bike and he was
Ugh,
kind of cool and he just come in.
ugh,
Oh my God.
worst. Worst. I know exactly who you're talking about. I got him in my.
Exactly. Okay. And I just looked at him and I said, well, what's going to happen if, I mean, you got to imagine me like this 20-year-old, like babe in the woods. And
Scared.
I'm just
Yeah.
looking at him and, I just want my mom to be okay. And he's like, I go, what's going to happen if she doesn't get the chemotherapy? And he's like, your mom's going to die.
Mm.
Your mom's going to die.
Need a
But it
ride,
was,
get in the basket.
but it was great. But it was great because I went back to her
Yeah. I told her.
and I said, Mom, you're getting this chemotherapy because he said if you don't, you're going to die. And my mom's a freaking fighter and she thought she didn't need chemo, she's like one of those. And then she did it and she's great.
Yep.
She's doing great. So I do think it's interesting how mindset, and we know this, it plays a part in pretty much
Yeah.
everything.
So the guy's a fighter. He liver transplant.
Yeah.
He made it. Oh, did he testify? Was he well enough to testify at the
Oh
trial?
yeah, he was in the hospital for like 40 days and he testified because she didn't expect any of them to live. So serving different people different plates,
That came
you
from him.
know.
That her food looked different, right? That had to come from him.
Yeah, no, it did. He said we all had different plate or we had the same plates. We had the gray plates and she had the orange plate. And
So when
and
you
he
say gray plates, well, I was originally confused that the food was gray.
the color, the plate
The
color.
color of the plate was gray.
Yes, because I said she started plating it and the dish was gray. Yeah,
Right.
because I
So
didn't
I,
want it.
I I understood dish to be actually mean the food,
Yes, yes.
not the plate that the
Oh, right. Yeah, no. So I didn't want to say plate twice. So
right.
so I but it was the
The
plate was
flatware,
gray.
the flatware, the
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Right, right, right. And that's interesting because we just got back from Italy and I have a daughter with celiac disease. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and we were told that Italy is the haven for celiacs because they have a government agency called the AIC, which is something, 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 Gilead, whatever, Italian, um, that restaurants gets rated by that. And they have a big sticker in the window if they're an AIC approved. And that
That's
means
awesome.
that the waiters are trained with celiac, that they have two separate kitchens. One kitchen is
Wow.
only for celiac stuff, and you identify as a celiac when you walk in, and
Aw.
and your flatware is all blue. Your your cup is blue, your plate is blue, your silverware comes pre-wrapped, single use on your plate and everything. And my daughter's like, "This is amazing."
I know. I was just getting so happy for
Yeah.
her. That must have felt so good.
So, I mean, you get a tour of the kitchen. You want to go talk to our
Mm.
celiac chef? She goes, yes, yes, I do. Okay, great. Go and inspect the kitchen and see everything. And so it was great. So everyone knows the blue plate, don't go near it unless it's from this kitchen. So um, that's what this woman was doing. The gray plates are the death plates. The orange plate is okay for me to eat off
I know.
of.
But like the lead up to it, knowing the planning, the like the using the breast cancer, the or ovarian cancer
Oh,
as the manipulative tool, because of course they're not going to say no.
yep.
And the husband's like, hey, I'm kind of uncomfortable. And like, he would have been dead too, because she would have given him a double serving,
Right. Ostensibly the main target of this caper didn't show up, and she went through with it anyway.
And
Why?
he and yet she still went through with it.
Yeah, why?
And they were there to help her. They were there to But I think that she had this victim mentality
Yeah.
because you could just tell in her text the way that when he rejected her and said that he wasn't going to come, and then she made it all about her, about, I went and spent a bunch of money on
You did
this, and
all this,
and it
spent
was
all
all
this
me,
money.
me, me, me,
Yeah.
me.
But you have to think,
Yeah, and it
I'm
was
not
like,
wrong I'm not wrong in thinking that the husband was probably the target, right? She probably
yeah.
wanted that guy dead. So she then presents as a sociopath to go through with the murder scheme anyway. She could have very easily said, "Oh my gosh, overcooked everything. Let's order a pizza."
Hmm.
Right? She could have easily done that and not committed triple
Hmm.
homicide that night. And but it's like she's in the kitchen going,
I
"Well,
mean, I think that,
I went through all this trouble. I went and I picked the mushrooms and I dehydrated. I gotta serve
no,
it."
I think she wanted to kill them too. She wanted to kill them too. And honestly, she probably enjoyed the idea of thinking, now I get to watch him absolutely suffer, because that would be so awful to because it would be such a painful, agonizing death. 5 days of constant vomiting, diarrhea, failure of your organs. I mean, to watch that and then to find out that she did it, and that, she he brought her into their lives. Although, of course, it's not his fault. Like, who would have predicted this? Like, no one,
I know.
But you
Put
still have
yourself
that guilt, you know?
put yourself at that dinner table as her, right?
Hmm.
Like, what is she? It's weird. Like, and there are these.
I can't, I have, but I can't, because like I said, to me, like, the idea of feeding my family, you know I get immense joy from that.
Sure.
This is
But
like the
no, but what I'm saying
absolute,
is,
like,
like, there are some interesting dinner table scenarios that I've come across. Like, there was a, gosh, I think it feels like an Edgar Allan Poe story, but I'm getting it confused with the Telltale Heart. But there was a story where a guy murders his wife with like a leg of lamb, like beats her to death with like the leg of lamb. Okay. And
isn't
gets
that a
rid of
movie?
the body. And it's like Victorian times, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
inspectors, they're like having a hard time. They think that it's the guy, but they're having a hard
Hmm.
time locating the murder weapon. They can't identify the murder weapon. Okay.
Yeah.
And so they come over to this guy's house as he happens to be cooking a leg of lamb and feeds it to the cops. So they eat the murder weapon that they're looking. They're fine. It's not poisoned or anything. It's just
Yeah.
the evidence is gone. And I'm like,
And
well,
he's getting a massive pleasure
massive pleasure of
from
it. Right.
that.
Yes, 100%. Because
Yes.
he's scot free now. He's off the hook. Okay. Because the murder weapon's gone. All right. And then when I was doing, like, In the Ides of April, this John Wilkes Booth story that's out right now, the night before he died, he was put up with the family at the Garrett farmhouse, okay, which was a big family, like 7 kids. And all anybody was talking about was the assassination of Abraham Lincoln and who did it and where was he and all this. And Booth is just sitting there because they were all talking about him. And he was like
Right.
giving leading questions. Well, why do you think he would do it? Don't you think that the reward isn't enough? Shouldn't he be worth $100,000 rather than 50, and all that, and just with this grin on his face like the whole time.
And
So
they didn't know that he did it.
no, they thought he was a returning Confederate soldier heading home. They didn't
Okay.
know that he would that it was
Yeah,
that.
I mean, there's that weird thing that serial killers do where they take pleasure in
It's
holding
just
on to
having
this
a secret.
information.
It's having a
Yeah, it's
secret,
got to be the
right?
secret.
It's
And there's
it's it's
power
so
in that.
empowering. Exactly, it's empowering.
Yeah.
When I
And
was
for people like us, I don't get that. I don't
I
get
don't get it either. When I
I
was
don't get
acting,
that.
I knew an actor who worked all the time, okay, and heterosexual, married, dad, everything. But whenever he goes on auditions, he would wear women's underpants, okay. And I'm like, why? He said, because then I have a secret, and it shows just a little bit in my face or a twinkle in my eye or whatever. I have a secret that makes me mysterious or that makes me interesting. I went, oh, okay, dude, cool. If that works for you,
But I wonder why he wanted to share his secret with you.
I don't know why.
Did you ask him?
No.
Did he just tell?
He gave it to me as advice. He goes, here's what I do on auditions. You should do it. It'll work for you. I went,
Oh
what?
my God, I would love to see
Right.
that.
And
Would you
and it's
actually,
from
did you
like
ever
Bull
try
Durham.
that?
Remember, I think he got it from Bull Durham, right? Remember Bull Durham,
Mhm.
baseball
Yeah,
movie
yeah,
with
yeah,
Kevin
yeah,
Costner,
yeah, yeah.
right? Where he had Nuke LaLoosh wear garters, whatever. Yeah. um, to get his mind off of things, whatever. It was something like that. But I found that interesting. I found that interesting. But
I mean, I think that's incredible. I think it's really interesting what people do. And I love
it's
these
just
secrets.
it's right. It's like having the secret, right? And like
Yeah.
that was her. She had that massive secret at that dinner table where her guests were enjoying a delicious, very sophisticated culinary event of beef Wellington, and it was their last. You know?
I think that there was that aspect of the secret, but the darkness of the whole
Oh
thing of
gosh,
like
super dark.
knowing that she's watching them eat their last meal
Yeah,
and knowing that
sociopathic.
they are going to be so sick and what a horrific
Right.
death
And
going to be.
at least in White Lotus, he knocks the glass out of the hand, right?
Yeah.
No, it's bad, it's sour, you can't do it. Ah. Like he repents at the last second, like Abraham, right? With God, staying the hand of Abraham, like, okay, don't do it, right? And
It's hard for me to go to that storyline because I can't. I was so upset by that. I was so upset. And then he would be so careless and leave the blender there. And I was like, I
well,
knew that
then
guy was.
listen, that's when the show lost me. Never in the history of humanity does anyone drink something from a
I,
dirty
I,
blender
I
ever.
know.
No
I
one
know. I
ever would do
know.
that.
I know. I
Okay.
know. And then that he would be so careless with his
Ugh,
son's life.
ugh.
I just couldn't bear it. And then when I swear to God, if they were going to have him be dead, the kid, I was just gonna be like, I can't take this. I can't take this. I can't take it because he was such an innocent. He was the innocent of the family, he
Yeah,
was just
but
trying to
no, I'm
figure it
sorry. I
out.
can't get past from a great show. I can't get past the lazy writing that they had him just say, "Oh, this has been sitting out overnight," and he was in the room when his dad said
I
it's
know.
sour, and to use it anyway. I'm sorry, it's fucking bullshit. Like,
No, and
do better,
everybody knew. But see, this
do
is this
better.
is what I think they thought. This is what I think they thought, Brandon. They thought everybody watching at home is going to be like, put the blender away. Come on, put the blender away. Because we all knew that he was going to leave it out. And we all knew when we saw the kid getting up and moseying over there, and we're all in this panic state of like, please don't do it. Please don't do it. Please stop. And, I think
I
that was
wasn't.
the design of
I'm
it.
going. Are we honestly supposed to believe that any
Of
human
course,
being
of course you would be a
could
doubter. Oh my
use
God.
a
As
dirty
you like to
blender
say, a doubting Thomas.
and think it's okay? It's crusted over. It's disgusting. Who would do it? I drink smoothies every day. I'm
I,
sorry.
I know, but you're not. This is a teenage kid.
He's smart. He's lived a day of his
Okay,
life.
I'm not gonna
Okay.
make excuses for it. I'm just saying that's why I think they did that because they knew all of
Lazy
the
writing.
audience members. What?
It was lazy writing. I'm sorry. It
Okay.
was
Okay,
lazy
well,
writing.
what would you have done
You
differently?
deserve better. I don't
How
know. I wasn't in
important?
the writer's room. I wouldn't have let that go.
I'm saying now that you know what the premise was, what would you do to get there? Quick.
Oh gosh, you kidding? I don't know. They had a 20-week writer's room. I can't give you something right now.
Well, what they could have done is that he didn't know that it was like the fruit was poisonous and he just put it in there. Like he didn't, there was so many ways of doing
No,
it. Like the father left
what
the
you do, listen,
fruit.
if you want a quick answer to it, what
Yeah.
you do is he cleans out the blender, right? And says, "Oh, okay, I'm going to remake this myself because my dad said it was supposed to be awesome. So I'm just
Mhm.
going to redo the recipe. Oh, and this actually smells fine," and do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I think it goes back to us knowing it's like the foreshadowing.
Yeah.
They knew. Anyway, we don't have to beat
Okay.
this.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But listen, I'm really stoked that you decided to give this story the treatment. It was great. It was interesting. She's a lunatic and she's in jail for a long time. Are they weird in Australia? Like you serve 5 years and you're fine, or do
I'm not sure.
yeah?
I'm not sure.
Because like in Denmark, like you could go kill 1,000 people and the
I
book
I
like
I
20
know.
years,
I
right?
know. I don't know. We'll have to stay. I'll follow it and see what she gets, but she's not getting out. There's no way.
No,
But she could appeal. And here's the thing, if she would have been, because it wasn't necessarily there, although there was overwhelming evidence, I think that if she would have presented a certain way, there could have been a chance because of people's own biases of not wanting to believe and because there was no clear motive.
right.
I
That's
mean,
my issue.
I know.
That's my
So
issue.
if she would have been a little bit different, you
Apparently,
know,
you can get a conviction without a motive. Okay, good to know.
okay.
Good to know.
All right.
Good to know. All right, awesome. Well, hey, listen, if you like the episode, please share it with your friends, rate and review us on Apple and Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, Amazon Music, and email us at info@evocreative.com. Give us show ideas, give us your theories, give us your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. We read every email. So, and while we're at it, let's plug them one more time. The Stolen Voices of Dole Valley.
Yes,
the trailer
go
is out.
subscribe. Yes.
So there is an
Yeah.
actual thing to listen to, and you can follow it right now so you won't miss an episode when the show drops. And if you have MGM Plus, set your calendar for August 31st. If you don't, it's a cool little streamer. It's very it's a premium streamer. They have a lot of the MGM movies on there, and there's a new Stephen King show that's on there that my show is going to be following. So the podcast is The Devil Within, but they changed the title of the show to Let the Devil In.
I was gonna say that. Yes. What did you think about that?
Not like crazy about it, but I understand that they're looking at hopefully for it to be a several season kind of thing, and they thought that Let the Devil In played a little bit better. And also what I do like about it is that it differentiates itself from the podcast, because what I insisted upon, to whatever power I had, which wasn't much, but they listened to me and I had great partners on this, was that please just don't retell the story I told in the podcast. It has to be better, or why bother? And it's definitely better. It's it's another step. So many people talk to the TV people that wouldn't talk to me. And we learned a lot more about the people involved. And so it's definitely an elevated evolution of the story. So
is it going to drop all at once, or is it weekly?
No, weekly.
Weekly.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
August 31st.
August 31st. It's 4 episodes. And then after the initial run on MGM Plus, which is an Amazon company, it will eventually land on Amazon Prime. So
yeah, I've got both. So
yes,
I want to be getting my remotes.
Very exciting. So thank
Awesome.
you, everybody, for listening. Until next time, stay safe. Carolyn, anything you'd like to add?
Nope. We will see you next week.
All right. Thank you very much.
All righty.
From Pie in the Sky Media, Criminal Mischief is an EVO production, recorded live in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We're produced by Brandon Morgan and myself. Music by Soundstripe. For EVO Creative, I'm Carolyn Osorio, your writer and host.